Hello children, let us today study a new topic of chemistry, that is materials, metals and non-metals. When we look around, we can see a lot of things, objects or materials. In science, we call these all materials as matter. Well, let us see what is matter. Anything which has mass and occupies space is termed as matter. Matter is made up of very tiny particles are called atoms. Now let us see what is element. Element is the simplest form of matter which cannot be further broken down into simpler substance by any physical methods. Here we have some examples. Aluminium, here I am written Al because that is a symbol. Copper, Cu, gold, Au, then hydrogen. There are some more elements, many elements are there, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. Based on their physical and chemical properties, elements can be classified into metals and non-metals. Here there is a chart showing all the non-metals. It is a periodic table. What is periodic table? The elements are arranged in a systematic way. Here you can see the different colors. Those colors, this blue color are metals. They are arranged separately. And last, that lemon yellow color, those are non-metals, and in between there are some elements, that is boron, silicon, arsenic, germanium, antimony, tellurium, etc. They are metalloids. Then what are metals? We can define metal in such a way that the elements which give positive ions by losing electrons, that is electropositive elements, and the elements which have negative ions by gaining electrons are non-metals. They are electronegative. Metals are electropositive, non-metals are electronegative. Here there are some examples of metals and non-metals. Copper is a metal. Lead is another metal, tin, zinc, nickel and steel. Steel is not a single metal. Next, there are some examples of non-metals. They are carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Then, here there is a definition of metalloids. There are some metals which show both properties of metals and non-metals. Examples: germanium, arsenic, antimony, etc. Here are some pictures of these metalloids: boron, silicon, germanium, tellurium, antimony, arsenic, etc. Then children, let us discuss the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Let us have a comparative study. The first property, luster. What is luster? Metals have a metallic luster, that means a shiny appearance. Non-metals are non-lustrous, that means it do not have shiny appearance. What about non-metals? Non-metals are non-lustrous. They have a dull appearance. Then there is an exception, graphite and diamond. Those are two forms of carbon which is a non-metal. They are lustrous. Come to the second property, hardness and strength. Metals are generally hard and strong. Here also there is an exception. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, etc. They are soft metals that can be cut with a knife. Come to the non-metal, they are not so hard and strong. Here also an exception, diamond, which is the hardest substance known. Let us move on to next property, that is physical state. Metals are solid at room temperature. Exception, mercury is the only liquid metal at room temperature. Gallium and cesium are also exist in liquid state around 30 degrees Celsius. Let us move on to nonmetals. Nonmetals exist in 3 different states, that is solid, liquid and gases. Examples, carbon, sulfur, iodine, phosphorus, etc. are in solid state. Bromine is the only liquid non-metal. Last, gases, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. There are more elements. Let us discuss another main property of metals and non-metals, that is malleability. The property of metals by which they can be beaten into thin sheets. Gold, copper, aluminium, silver, etc. are malleable metals. Then gold and silver ornaments are made by hammering small sheets of metals. Come to the non-metals, they are non-malleable. That means we cannot make into sheets with non-metals. Then let us have another property of metals and non-metals, that is ductility. The definition goes in this way. The property of a metal by which it can be drawn into thin wires. Gold and silver are most malleable and ductile metals. Here comes a fact, that is from 1 gram gold we can make 2 kilometer long wire. Then come to non-metals, they are no ductile. That means we cannot draw into wires the non-metals. They are brittle. Next property, sonority. That is, metals produce a ringing sound when it is struck. They are sonorous. That is why temple and church bells are made out of metals. The ringing sound can be heard for a long distance. Come to non-metals, they are not sonorous. Next property, melting point and boiling point. Metals generally have high melting and boiling points. There is an exception, sodium and potassium, which have low melting and boiling point. Come to non-metals. Non-metals have low melting and boil. Graphite have high melting and boiling points. The last property, that is conductivity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Silver and copper are the best conductors of electricity, followed by gold, aluminium. Exception is there, lead is a metal which is a poor conductor. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity, but graphite is a good conductor which is form of carbon, that's a non-metal. Here there is an application. We know that cooking vessels are made out of metals and the handles of those are made out of plastic, because metals are good conductors and non-metals are poor conductors. See in this diagram, see the metal which is connected to a battery, the bulb glows, the yellow color can be seen. See the next picture, that is connected to thermoplastic, which is a poor conductor. Here we can see the bulb does not glow because thermoplastic won't conduct electricity, that is because bulb does not glow. Let us discuss one of the important properties of a metal, that is displacement reaction. Before come to the displacement reaction, we should know what is reactivity series. What is reactivity series? The arrangement of metals in the order of decreasing reactivity. Because different metals have different reactivity. Here it is arranged. The most reactive metal, potassium. Come to next, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, mercury, silver, gold, etc. The most reactive metal on the top and the least reactive metal at the bottom. Here you can see one element, hydrogen. Why hydrogen is included, which is a non-metal? Because hydrogen also forms positive ion like metals. Then comes to displacement reaction. A metal can replace another metal which is placed below it in the reactivity series. What does it mean? The more reactive metal can replace the less reactive one. That is called displacement reaction. Then see hydrogen placed in between because hydrogen also forms positive ion like metals. Here there is an example of displacement reaction. Iron is a metal that is more reactive than copper. Copper sulfate is a salt solution and forms iron sulfate and copper. Because the more reactive metal, iron can replace copper from copper sulfate solution. Iron is placed, that is written below, iron is placed above copper, therefore iron can replace copper from its salt solution, that is copper sulfate. Next let us see, the copper is placed below iron, so that copper cannot replace iron from iron sulfate solution because copper is less reactive than iron. The example is there, equation iron plus CuSO4 gives iron sulfate plus Cu. The equation Cu plus FeSO4 gives, if it mixed together, there won't be any reaction because copper is less reactive than iron. Look at the picture. Here the diagrammatic representation of displacement reaction. Iron is more reactive. An iron knife is put in copper sulfate solution which is in blue color. When it reacts, iron reacts with copper sulfate, forms iron sulfate and copper. That is, iron displaces copper from copper sulfate solution, forms ferrous sulfate and copper. Due to the formation of ferrous sulfate, the solution is changed into green.